Hi, this is Brenda Dozier, the Crop Training Coordinator, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to quote and submit country's private product, the Pre-Season Price Assurance, or PPA for short. To begin quoting a PPA policy, you go to the crop web and you'll see on the premium estimates on the left side, there is a tab labeled Crop Hail and Private Products. If you would click that, which then takes you to the 2016 year, which is what the PPA product is for, and if you'll select Run the web-based version for 2016, and next you will need to click the New Business Estimate and click Submit. And now to begin quoting a pre-season price assurance policy, first of all, a little reminder that a federal crop policy is required to purchase the PPA because it is just a supplement to the underlying federal crop. And if the PPA client does not have their federal crop with country, then you will need to get a copy of their previous year's summary of coverage, so you have proof of insurance. So again, you will need to ask that customer, and they will need to supply you with their previous year's summary of coverage for proof of federal crop policy. Again, select Pre-Season Price Assurance as the policy type and hit Submit. Now for quoting, you will select crop, county, and the coverage level from the drop-downs and then click the Add button to the far right. You'll see once you get in here and practice on it, you can select as many combinations as you want to quote. So I first selected McLean County corn at the 85 level and hit Add, and your quote comes up. The PPA quotes are per acre premiums, and they're based on yield ranges and the unit structure. So that approved yield on a federal crop policy, if you'll find where that falls in the range, and then what the unit structure is for the underlying federal crop. And in my example here, I've got a 176 approved yield on the federal crop, and I have enterprise units. So find the yield range and the unit structure, and then zero in on what then that premium per acre would be. Again, this example shows what the PPA price selection is the offering and the premiums associated with it. Couple other reminders. If selecting soybeans as the crop, and if FAC soybeans are insurable per risk management agency on the federal policy, then you'll see a quote for both FAC and NFAC soybeans on the PPA product as well. This is an example of, I used Adams corn, but I wanted side-by-side quotes, so I added Adams corn 75 level, Adams corn 80, and Adams corn 85, so I could see all three coverage levels on my quote at once. This is another example. Again, I was telling you at the very beginning that you can quote as many combinations as you want at one time. So in my example here, I've chosen McLean corn, Livingston corn, and Woodford corn, all at the 85, just to see, again, comparisons. I did another quote and selected Woodford corn and Woodford soybeans, and after showing the quotes to the customer, they decided they did not want the corn for Woodford. So anytime after you're done quoting and you don't want to see that quote any longer, you click on the X on the far left, which always means delete it off of the quote. Intended net acres are required if you are going to sell a PPA policy to a customer. And this slide just reminds you that what net intended acres means. Net means accounting for the share. So if a farmer has 800 acres, but they're at 50% share, that really equates only to 400 net acres. Also keep in mind that the total net acres that needs to be on the quote here cannot include any irrigated acres or any high risk or unrated acres, because both of those are not insurable on the PPA policy. To attach a producer to the PPA quote, you click on the producer button here, and it opens up the producer name field, and you need to type in the producer's name and hit the add button. As a reminder, the producer's name must match the underlying federal crop policy. So my example here, the underlying federal crop is for Smith Farms, LLC. If the underlying policy was for an individual's name, you'd use the first last field and click Add. So now that you have attached a producer, you are ready to convert the quote into the PPA application by clicking the Continue to Rewrite App button. The first step it takes you to is the insured information. They have started a draft for you. You will need to edit by clicking the pencil to edit this insured's information. Now you need to complete the insured's information and submit. Again, my reminder is that the PPA applicant must match the federal crop underlying policy. Again, fill out the address, phone number, EIN, or SSN associated with the entity, etc. When you're complete, hit the Submit Insured Information, and it will take you to the second step, which is to edit the Rewrite App draft. So again, click the pencil, and what comes up is the selection that was made in the quote. So again, verify that the customer wants this, in my example, Woodford soybeans at the 80 coverage level, and the intended net acres is correct. If all is verified and you're ready, go ahead and click Continue to Summary to submit the PPA application. The next screen I'll take you to is answering the underwriting data questions. So read the 2 underwriting data questions and answer them. And next you will need to print the application. Now that you have the printed application, you will need to have the applicant and yourself sign the PPA application. So sign this PPA application, and just a reminder that the rep is the keeper of this signed application. Now that you have the signed application, you are ready to click on the Submit button. Now you see your submitted PPA application. It is date and time stamped, and you'll see that now that it has been submitted for company approval. One last reminder here that if the PPA applicant is not a country federal crop customer, then you must obtain a copy of the previous year summary of coverage from the applicant and place in the e-filing cabinet. So I've showed here how you click on the e-filing cabinet tab and upload that previous year summary of coverage. Take note that the crop underwriting department will not be able to underwrite the PPA application until they have a copy of this from the other AIP approved insurance provider that has this customer's federal crop. This concludes my demonstration of quoting and submitting preseason price assurance. If you have any further questions, please call Crop Underwriting at 877-274-9800. Thank you.